Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Tom's Takes. I want to talk about this one viral story that I've been seeing across YouTube and my Twitter. It's about a $20 burrito. I believe the story originated from Andrew Colvett, who is with Turning Point USA. And a student was complaining that he paid $20 for a burrito, and I admit $20 for a burrito is expensive, but it's relative if you think about it. I mean, the ingredients itself probably isn't that much. You have a tortilla, steak. Steak is expensive, cheese and salsa and sour cream, and you roll it up and you roll it up. But that itself is not expensive. But that actually reminds me of a story. When I was in college, I went through the drive-through, and I went through the Taco Bell drive-through, and I asked for a steak burrito with cheese and sour cream only. And they gave me the burrito, and I didn't open it up until I got home. And the only thing that was in there was cheese and sour cream. And I thought to myself, I ordered a steak burrito with cheese and sour cream. If I just wanted cheese and sour cream, I would have just ordered, please give me a tortilla with just cheese and sour cream. I would not have ordered it as a steak burrito. But that's kind of a side point, talking about burritos. But I just want to talk about affordability. I get that inflation has been much higher. Normally, inflation should be around 2% from what I hear. But inflation over the last several years has spiked up. I think a lot of that is just due to the pandemic. We printed a lot of money, and it just when I was in high school, they explained inflation as too many dollars chasing too few goods. So that makes sense. A lot of businesses were shut down, and in order for people not to go bankrupt, the government printed a lot of money, and right now we're kind of dealing with that currently. So I understood why they did it. I'm not going to talk about the merits, just because people were going through it real time and decisions had to be made timely, and it's always easier to make decisions in hindsight. And but I do agree, $20 for a burrito is expensive, but it kind of depends as well. If you're just going out for a regular meal, I think $20 is something that you don't want to spend that on a regular basis. You want to be a little bit more cost conscious. Maybe today's Tuesday, and I work from home on Tuesdays, and they changed my work schedule. I used to work from home Monday and Wednesday, and I would be in the office on Tuesday. I actually really love that schedule. On Tuesday, they have Taco Tuesdays. I believe it's nationally. And I work in Des Plaines, and there's just a bunch of independent Mexican restaurants, and you could get tacos for $1. Now they raised it up to $1.50, but the deals were there. So I absolutely love Taco Tuesdays. It's not a burrito, but it's all the same ingredients. And this problem has actually been around for a long time. I remember when I first started working back in '95. I was living with my parents at the time, and I would go out to eat, and there was a food court right across the street, and I was spending about $20 a day there. It just I would go to Sabara. I would pick up a magazine. There was an arcade, and it's like $20. It's like you could spend that in a blink, and that was when $20 was actually $20, and it went a lot further. And at the end of like a year, I hardly had any money saved, and my parents were just absolutely on me. They said, listen, you're making money. I understand you're not making a lot of money, but you don't have a lot of bills, and you need to save up for a car. You cannot spend money, you cannot spend your paycheck as if you're, as if this is your allowance. People raise families on what you're making, so you need to make a conscious effort to spend within your means and put money aside, invest, put money aside. So this is an age-old problem. And even 10 years ago, I was talking to one of my coworkers. She was a lady that had a couple kids that were younger. They were just graduating college and they were working. And she too was very upset with her kids because her youngest was just spending money on lunch at work and kind of going through the same growing pains that I did. And she would say, okay, I understand you want to go out with your friends, but you're spending money. One of your biggest expenses daily is what you spend on lunch. You're spending $20 to $30 on lunch every day. That's just wasted money. Why don't I sack you a lunch 4 days a week, and then 1 day a week you can treat yourself and you can buy whatever you want. And I'm not here to necessarily wag my finger on how people spend money. I really don't care. It's really none of my business. But food inflation has gotten worse. I'm not saying it hasn't, but there are a lot of deals out there. The local grocery store by where I live is Jewel, and if you look at the flyer and with the coupons, and you have the app, I've gone into Jewel with like $20, and I've come out with a lot of groceries where once they give you the discount, your bill could be about $50, and then it gets down to under $20. So there are options out there. So all I'm saying is that things have gotten more expensive, but at the same time, how you spend your money and how you plan is just as important to tackle it. And I do believe in the future the price of food will have to eventually come down. I'm seeing a lot of people taking that GLP-1 shot, and it's affecting a lot of stocks in regards to like food stocks. A lot of the food stocks are not doing well. They're hitting like 52-week lows just because they're just not selling the junk food like they used to. And granted, that's not exactly what you want to buy, but I do believe eventually if more and more people get on this GLP-1 shot, there's going to be less demand for food. I actually should take it. I kind of look at myself in these videos and I'm like, I got a fat face. I wouldn't mind kind of trimming it down a little bit, but that's not the point of this video. And if you want to spend money on food, 2 years ago I had a different experience in regard, or a change in mindset. I met one of my friends. It was his birthday, and he went to the Three Rivers Casino. And I told him, "Yeah, I'll meet you, but I'm not gonna gamble. I'll get something to eat though." So I went there and I saw the burgers, and the burgers were about $20. You get the burgers, the fries, and the drink. And I thought $20 was a little expensive, but I looked at it not so much at the price tag. I looked at it as it's an experiential experience thing. It's I go there, I'm hanging out with my friends, so it's just going to cost a little bit extra. It's not like I'm at home just making my own burger. I'm out there, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive eating a burger at the casino. So I had a little bit of change in mindset. So if you want to go out, expect to pay a little bit more. When I was younger, maybe like 20 years ago, in my 30s, me and my friends, we would go out on Saturday, and we would go out to restaurants, and I kind of joke that one day I want to make enough money where I don't have to debate whether I want to get an appetizer or not. Instead of my bill being like $30, it's going to be like $45. I don't want to have to worry about that. I'm still very much debate whether I want to get an appetizer or not, and price is kind of a sticking point. But the older I get, if I'm going out with friends, I will spend the extra money. But 90% of my meals, I try to be more cost conscious. I try to eat at home to bring the cost down. And this is universal. This is something that I truly believe will. No matter how, unless you're very, very rich, I believe this is something that people will have to deal with, how they manage their money. And I'm going to end on another story that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. A couple of years ago, I matched with someone on a dating app. She was actually really nice. There was like no chemistry, but she was really nice. The first date, she wanted me to spend several $100s, and she wanted me to buy tickets to the theater and buy her a steak dinner. And I'm like, no, I don't have $600-700 to spend on the first date. And so we wound up going to a sushi restaurant, and my friend was the manager, so he wound up giving us both meals for well under $100, and we had a good time. And she was trying to get that steak dinner from me. I think she wanted to go out with me just to get meals. And one time, this was like the third or fourth date in, I called her and I was telling her that I kind of want to try this macaroni and cheese. There was this one restaurant that I saw on this one food show where they go to different restaurants, and they were talking about the macaroni and cheese, how great the macaroni and cheese was. It looked so good. And I told her, hey, listen, I really want to try this macaroni and cheese. You wanna go with me? And she said, sure. So we went out to this restaurant. I ordered the macaroni and cheese, and she ordered the porterhouse. And I thought to myself, I thought you were going to order the macaroni and cheese. I don't know why. She didn't say she was going to do that, but she wound up getting her steak dinner. And we went out like one or two times afterwards, and I think this is the story of my life. She said, listen, we're 5 dates in. You should have an idea whether you see somewhat of a future or not. I kind of get the feeling you're just kind of going through the motions, and you want to be single, but you're going on dates just to as something to do. And she kind of called my bluff. I wanted to be honest with her. I didn't want to drag this out longer than it should. And I told her, I think you're right. I think at the end of the day, good or bad, I like being single. I don't like being in a relationship. So we left amicably, and it was nice. I caught her at she was a theater girl, and I'm kind of a theater guy. But the last time I saw her, it was she was performing in The Producers, and she was really good in that. And but we left on good terms. Other than that, I just want to end by saying it's Taco Tuesday. Get yourself a nice taco for $1.50, and if you want to spend $20 on a burrito, go spend it. But at the same time, put money aside for investing your future and also for a rainy day. Other than that, I hope everyone has an amazing Tuesday.